So let me see if I have this straight. This is the movie musical based on the 1993 Broadway musical, which is based on the 1985 movie, and all of them are based on the 1976 novel. Oh my God, can we just get to the kiss? Welcome back to Glenn Hates Everything. I'm Glenn and I hate everything. I'm a film critic. I've also made films. And I just always look for something to dislike in things. That's just my nature. I just hate with every fiber of my being. Okay, that's a lie. But a lot of people have accused me of that. So let's see if they're right this time. We're going to talk today about Kiss of the Spider-Woman, which is the movie musical based on the Broadway musical, written by Terrence McNally, the late great Terrence McNally, and with music by the legendary Kander and Ebb, who did such great musicals as Cabaret and Chicago. It's loosely also based on the 1985 movie starring William Hurt and Raul Julia and Sonia Braga, all of which were based on the 1976 novel of the same name. So there is a lot of kissing that's been going on for decades. Now, I am going to start with what I hate right up front, which is I really hated William Hurt's Oscar-winning performance as Molina in the 1985 film. It just felt very mannered, and he did a lot of pearl clutching, and he wore a towel like a turban on his head, and it just felt so put on. And, you know, not to say that straight actors can't play gay roles. It's just that sometimes you could feel it in your gut that something is being put on as opposed to being lived. And I got that from that film. The film had lots of great things going for it. I thought it looked gorgeous, and it told a really fascinating story. And the story has always pretty much remained the same, that the basic premise being that art will save us all. It will save us during times of a fascist dictatorship. Are you taking notes for the current situation? So this brings us to the current film. And it stars a relative newcomer who is sensational. They're a queer non-binary actor named Tonatiuh. I hope I am pronouncing their name right. Diego Luna, who many of you know as a great actor for many years. And some newcomer named Jennifer Lopez. I think she goes by J-Lo, but I don't know. We may be hearing from her again. Basic premise being in the film that we have right now, which gets a little more specific than the other versions, is that it's the 1980s. It's what was known as the Dirty War in Argentina, where there was a military takeover of the government and it became a fascist dictatorship. Many people were disappeared, pulled off the streets, tortured, murdered, imprisoned, never heard from again. Again, sound familiar? And in this, we are in a prison cell with two characters who are diametrically opposed to each other. So we have Molina, who's a gay window dresser, played by Tonatiuh, and we have Valentin, played by Diego Luna, who is a political prisoner. He's a revolutionary, imprisoned for his expression of his ideals, whereas Molina is a person who was caught having public sex, so in prison for public indecency. And while Valentin just wants to stay quiet, stay focused, get through this, Molina wants to fantasize to get through this. And he expresses that his favorite film of all time is Kiss of the Spider-Woman, starring his icon, idol, Ingrid Luna, played by Jennifer Lopez. And so he spins tales to pass the time from this film. And once he starts talking about these films, we are in the movie within the movie, where J-Lo does an untold number of musical numbers. She sings and dances her ass off in this movie. She is phenomenal. She doesn't have a lot of dialogue, and frankly doesn't need it to do what she does here, which is these old 1940s MGM style musical numbers that are shot correctly, head to toe, so you can see the full dancing, thanks to Fred Astaire insisting on that way back when. And She sings beautifully. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's been auto-tuned. And you know what? I don't care. She sounds great. She belts. She's emotional. She's just so winning, and she's so electrifying in this. She's got this one moment where she dips down on her knees, and then she's holding a drink, and she's spun around on the floor. And you're like, oh my God, she's like in her mid-50s, and she is killing it. She's got a beautiful ballad that she sings to one of the characters that I just thought was sensational. Now, the true story of this film, the real core story of this film, though, is about the love story between Valentine and Molina. And it completely lives or dies by the chemistry between these two actors. And they go together so well. You really feel them. It made me cry. Tonatiuh, unlike William Hurt, in my opinion, feels this character within their bones. It's a confident, humorous, heartbreaking, bold performance. It reminded me of drag queens who are so street smart when confronted by their haters, and they never back down. They've got an answer for things. They are going to fight back. And that is what this character does, which is so different than what the William Hurt portrayal conveyed. It felt more like, I hate to use the word simpering, but it felt like a simpering put on, flicked wrists and, using a voice that felt gay. And so it makes a huge difference when you have this queer performer who has lived this. And I mean lived it emotionally. Maybe not physically, maybe not, step by step, but you can tell. You can tell this character has lived it. Bill Condon, who wrote and directed, adapted it from Terrence McNally's book and Kendra Nebb's beautiful music, really understands this. Now, unlike the first film, I don't think that he has the great cinematic visual sense that Hector Babenco had during the prison sequences. I remember those being much more cinematic. These are fairly straightforward. However, what makes the big difference are these musical numbers. In the 1985 film, we just had dramatic sequences of the movie within a movie. But here we have these boldly shot, beautiful musical numbers. There's the classic one, and I apologize for whatever is happening outside my door. It's kind of annoying. But we had these big, bold, beautiful numbers that remind you of, a chorus line or cabaret, or any Sid Charisse musical. It's honoring Chita Rivera in her Broadway role in a way. It is just gorgeous. There's some silly numbers because the movie within a movie is meant to be a little cheesy, and the acting is meant to be a little cheesy. And Lopez really delivers the cheese in a perfect way. It's not cheesy. Her performance isn't cheesy, but she's playing cheesy, and that's a big difference. I really enjoyed this film. I think that it deserves a lot of Oscar attention. It was made independently. It's made on a budget. And you could kind of tell, it's not the most expansive movie visually, but it's huge as far as what it's trying to say. It's so relevant to right now, and they couldn't have predicted that when this was being made. And yet it feels so current. It feels so necessary. And I'm so grateful that this film is coming out right now. I can't urge you enough to see it. I do have those little nitpicky quibbles about the visual style. Not in the musical numbers, though. Those are really quite eye-popping. But, I don't hate everything, okay? The word is out now. I don't. What about you? Did you like this film? Are you dying to see it? Please, comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And look forward to hating something in the very near future.